you wasting time trying to parse your logs in Docker? Let me show you some really cool tricks to really simplify your life and make things so much easier. So number one, you can see that I'm running Docker Compose here. I have a number of containers started up. And if I do a Docker container PS, you'll see that I've got these front end and these back end containers. And first trick is absolutely you should always be using Docker Compose to spin up your containers. There's not very many reasons why you would run ad hoc Docker commands unless you're just doing some small scale testing or things like that. Even for a simple project, Compose has a lot of benefits. And I talk about that in some of my other videos on my channel. But here you can see I have a simple Compose file with two services, a front-end service and a back-end service. Each one of these is just running Nginx Alpine containers, and I have 20 replicas of each of these. So if I wanted to get the logs of a container, typically I would say like, well, you can't use the filter command, unfortunately. Docker container logs does not understand that. So instead, I would have to do something like this, right? You've probably done this. I've got to get the logs for a specific container. Well, that's very painful. This is where Docker Compose really shines, where I can say, get the logs from the front end service. And now it's going to aggregate all of those logs for me for all of these front end services, all of these containers. And it's going to show them in order of when these things happen. And you can see that there's a timestamp here that the Nginx container adds. But let's assume that you're running something else, maybe a backend service, maybe this is a .NET application or something that's not prepending timestamps with every entry. Well, that's where we have the -- timestamps flag. So if I pass -- timestamps, now you'll see that I get this extra information that's prepended. And this is not coming from the Nginx container. This is actually coming from the Docker daemon. It's because it's storing these logs. It knows the timestamps of them, and it's adding the timestamp right here. So this is a really great tool that'll really simplify your workflow. Now let's take this another step forward, and let's actually filter these a little bit more. So I can actually add since on here, and I can say since 72 hours, for example. I can say since 24 hours. Or I can actually even pass this timestamp and I can say since this timestamp. And now you'll see that I get this really nice filtered view. And I can even narrow that down a little bit more, right? With a lot more precision. I can have as much precision on this as I want. So if I say like that, I'm getting some very narrowed down results depending on how I run this. So I use this all the time, especially I'll do something like if I'm working on like maybe a WordPress project or some sort of development project where I need to actually follow the containers. I'll say follow, and then I'll say since maybe like 5 minutes because I just restarted the container and I'm waiting for some errors to show up and I want to filter out a bunch of noise. So hopefully this is helpful. Hit the like and subscribe button and stay tuned to my channel for more Docker tricks and tips.